Hi guys, this is the fourth episode of Pill Talk with Grace Forson. Thank you all for stopping by. But yeah, today we're gonna talk about greed. But first thing first, let's get comfortable. Grab your pillow, okay? Grab your cup of tea, grab your water, get comfortable, and now let's talk about it. So today we're talking about greed. And for those who listened, okay, to the third episode actually, you guys know that I actually recorded this episode. I already recorded this episode, but I didn't release it just because I don't know, I was not really happy with how it turned out or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, it's okay. I'm just going to record it again." But I didn't. But I didn't. And now we're in October, okay? And I recorded it first time maybe in May, I think. I think. So yeah, it was supposed to be the third episode, but I guess now it's the fourth. Okay? It's cool because the most important thing is that I'm releasing it. And like I said in the previous episode, I will keep my promises. So now we about that action, baby. We about that action. So, I wanted to talk about that because I was able to see. I mean, not only me. I'm sure you did, but a lot of things happened. Okay, a lot of things happened in 2024, and I'm sure a lot of things are gonna happen before the end of this year. But a lot of things happened, and even in the previous years, and I wanted to touch base on that because it just goes, for me, hand in hand with what we're going to talk about and with greed. And we're going to review the definition of it and, you know, and really see like what is the actual root, and then the consequences. What the consequences are, like the consequences that we're seeing right now. Well, they are basically coming from that greed, right? That people are experiencing, people have in their heart. So we're gonna go over, what we were able to see in the media with all the scandals and everything. And just, yeah, I'm gonna share my perspective, and hopefully can spark some debates and whatever, because we're here for that. Okay, this is raw conversation, genuine conversation, and we're just open like that. So first thing first, what is greed? Okay, what is greed? And I wanted to basically get some kind of definition, right? To get deep in a subject, to really dive in. And so what I was able to, find is that greed is the intense and selfish desire for something. And in parentheses, they were saying, especially wealth, power, or food. So intense and selfish desire, um, insatiable, right? They say it's very insatiable. So it really emphasized like the intensity of it. And so I found it super interesting, and I was like, okay, the desire is a good thing, right? So desiring things is just normal. It's human nature, right? So desiring and wanting more is a good thing. Personally, that's what I was thinking, and I still think. I think it's important, and you should you should want more for yourself. You must, want more for yourself, because in this life, okay, if you don't want to do better, well, you're gonna stay stagnant, and you're just gonna, stay where you are. So I was like, okay, that's a good thing. Okay, we're still in a good position right there now. But then there's this selfish part, right? There's this selfish part, and selfish. If you think about selfish, what is selfish? What are the consequences of someone, or something that is selfish, or acting in a selfish way in anything. Well, it depends obviously on the context, but in that context of greed, it just leads to destruction, right? It's a lack of self-control, because that desire is so intense that you want more and more. Like we said previously, insatiable. It's like you can never be fulfilled. You want more and more and more, right? You want more and more and more. So there's this lack of self-control. You can't control, and basically, yeah, it leads to destruction. And so I was like, okay, that's interesting. So maybe how is greed um coming into someone's life? How is it, yeah, how is it coming about? And I was like, okay. And I thought about people of humble beginnings. Obviously, it's greed is for everybody, right? It's in the poor, in the rich, but it's different ways. I believe it's in different capacity, and obviously it stems from a different need in a way, right? Because obviously some people are in lack and some people are already in abundance, so it's kind of different. But we'll talk about it later. I wanted to talk about the people with humble beginnings, and I was like, okay, because most people with humble beginnings, obviously, they want more for themselves, right? That's the goal. That's the that's the goal. That's what we want. We want more for ourselves. We want a better future. We just want more opportunities, better resources, which is totally fine, and we should strive for that. Um, but then, um, if you're coming from not necessarily poverty, but you were having a modest living, and you were not really financially, well, financially stable, actually. A lot of people are not necessarily financially stable. You didn't really have a lot of resources, right, growing up. It's important to make sure that um, this scarcity is not um, leading you to an obsession, for money and for success. Like, obviously, you should want more, and you should want to succeed in whatever field you want to, be in. But you have to be careful. Success cannot be, and should not be, and must not be your God, right? And unfortunately, obviously, when you didn't receive a lot, or you didn't, get a lot growing up, you tend to focus, on what you have lacked. And so you just obviously, you don't want to lack anymore. Nobody wants to. But you have to be careful. Like your heart posture, and how you think, your mindset has to be aligned. It has to be controlled, because easily you can really become focused um on success and money, but heavily, heavily. And unfortunately, you see a lot of people are going by that saying that they're ready to do anything for money, and you know whatever it costs, at any means necessary, they will do what they have to do to get where they want to be. You know what I mean? um yeah. Like, literally in any field, in anything, they're ready to do anything, to get where they want to be. And so it's good to have some kind of um motivation, and yet you want more for yourself, and you're ready to grow. But when it starts to become like you're ready to cross people or anything, you have to be very careful, because a lot of people are ready to burn bridges, and to betray people, and to just go very low, to to obtain, whatever they want, and reach their goals. And it's like, like, now there's no boundaries. Now we're doing just anything. And that's I personally, that's how I see it. That's how greed, sneaks in. Because you wanted a better life so much that you started letting this need, this want for more to like control you, like literally. And that's why you have to be very careful, because you have to think about your morals and values. What are your morals and what are your values? And if you have them, if you have a lot, and if they're good, are they strong enough? Right? That's the question I ask myself. It's like, because we all say that, oh yeah, we're good people. Oh, yeah, I could never do this, or I do that. I value this and I value that. But all those values, all those morals, like, really that strong? Are you saying that just because you don't really have a lot of money? You don't really have a lot of resources, influence, and all of that? Are you saying that just because of the position you are in right now? Or it's really something that you're really believe in? It's really something that you will be ready to talk the talk and walk the walk for? And I just asked myself, and I was like, no, this is true, because it's easier to say something than to actually do it. Okay. And it reminded me of the verse, like Mark 8:36, and it says, what good is it for someone to gain the world, yet forfeit their soul? And I think it's so profound. It's so profound because easily we can really get trapped in that loop, trapped in that cycle of oh, I want to make it, you want to make it, and you're so focused on making it that you're neglecting everything else. And without even knowing, without even realizing it, you're putting maybe fame, maybe money, and this success above everything, and it becomes your god, right? And that's why the verse Matthew 6:24 is so powerful to me, because it says, no one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. And so it was so interesting, because if you pay attention, you see, you have to become very attentive with every word, right? Because it literally is telling you that money is a god. Like, it literally is telling you that money is a god, right? That's why people are saying that, I mean, people are saying, it's literally written, right? That the love of money is the root of all evil. It is the root of all evil, because money becomes a god, right? And if you pay attention on the first sentence, it's no one can serve two masters, right? And the last sentence is that you cannot serve both God and money. So it literally is telling you that money is a god, and that money is a master, right? Money is a master. Money controls you, can actually control you, right? And that's why you have to be very careful, because if you don't pay attention, the love of money is really going to become like what you're going to go by. Like, you're going to embody that, without understanding it, but you're really going to embody that, because you're going to start doing things, right? And like we said in the previous episode, in the second episode, we said that you have to guard your heart, right? Because everything flows from it. So it's important to check yourself, because at that moment, because you start embodying that love for money, you start obviously now doing things, and it becomes very, very problematic, right? Because we were able to see with all the people, the Bill Cosbys, okay, the R. Kellys, the Harvey Weinstein, whatever, how you say their name, how you say their name, and Jeffrey Einstein. I never know how to really say their name, but whatever. And all these people, and Diddy and P Diddy, okay, the latest one. And so it's like we were able to see how greed, right? How this intense desire just ate them up, literally ate them up so bad, because they were in it, that they were at the top of their field. You can kind of say at the top, on top of the world, in a way, because those people were very, 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 powerful, very influential, very wealthy. So you see that it just comes with a lot of things. And what's interesting is that, like we said, it's a desire, very intense, right? But the thing is, it's controlled a bit when you don't have the resources, right? When you don't necessarily have the resources um for doing things like, like they did. um it basically, it helps you in a way. But when you're um when you have so much money, sorry, when you have a lot of money, it's complicated, because it's not just money, it's really wealth, it's power, it's influence. It goes, hand in hand. And it gives you this almost absolute, like, absolute power. Absolute power, because we know that word is ruled by money, right? And so when you have a lot of it, you become a god, you know? You really become a god. You can do whatever you want to do. And who's going to check you? Nobody. And so it's very interesting to see that. And it's also very scary because of the world we live in. When you have a lot of money and that much power and influence, because they had a lot, it becomes very destructive, like we said, right? It's selfish, because now you start to do things only for you, only for your own gratification, only for your own pleasure. You don't really think about other people. It's about you. It's only about you, and that's why it goes hand in hand with pride, right? Because now your ego is big, and now you can do whatever you want to do. You're you. You know what I'm saying? Like people are saying, I'm him. I'm her, right? And that's really how people think, right? And it's not just, oh, they're bragging about it, like, oh, I got the best outfit on, oh, I got this. No, like they really can't afford it. They really can't afford it. They are truly on top. And so it's scary in a sense of, like, they're really in a position where if they want something, they can get it, right? They can ask you nicely, but they can also take it by force. And we saw that obviously in the recent things, in the recent news and stories, because obviously those people unfortunately inflicted a lot of abuse on the victims, and all the people, manipulation, coercion, like a lot of things. But it really stems from the fact that they can do what they want to do. Obviously, now they are paying, right? They are paying for their crimes. They are paying for what they did, but they were still, able to do that, and they probably did that, at least most of it, because they were, they unfortunately they embodied this love of money, this greed, right? Because we go back to the definition, it's about power, it's about wealth, and power comes in, many forms. So it's really about, they were able to get what they wanted because they had so much of influence, so much power, so much wealth, so much money, that they were able to do whatever they wanted. And that, if you like, no was not a thing, right? Like, no was not in their vocabulary, right? It's like you tell them no, and it's like, I don't think so, right? It's like, I must have not heard it, correctly. Like, no, this is not a thing. And that's actually scary, because in life you can just do what you want to do all the time. Right? And we go back to the second episode. It's like, it's not because you also want to do something that is a good thing to do, but when you don't have these boundaries, when the boundaries are lost, it's very, very, like, easy to lose yourself. And that's why, as human beings, we highly need boundaries. We need structure, because if we don't have it, we will. That's not even, oh, maybe. No, it's a fact. It's a thing. We will. That's why we have rules and regulations, because human beings are wild. Human beings are wild. Like, they're crazy. Okay? And if we didn't have that, like, babes, that would be crazy. Cuz now we have it. And we see a lot of people don't respect the rules. Okay? So, think about a word where those rules were not even existent. That would be chaos. Like, pure chaos. Pure chaos. And so that's so interesting, because it's like, for a moment, and when I say moments, for some people it was decades, right? But for a moment, those people were living. They were living in a life, right? An environment where there were absolutely no boundaries, at least applied to them. And so that's why you can see their behavior. They just went crazy on it. They just be, you know what I'm saying? It's like perversion and just everything. It's an excess, right? It becomes an excess because it's greed. You never fulfilled. You never fulfill. You always want more. You always want more, and because there's no type of boundaries, you want more and more. You want more and more. You know what I mean? It just never ends. And so that is so interesting and shocking. Like, I was like reflecting on that, and I was like, wow, this is madness. This is pure madness. Like, this is pure madness. I like, some people, babes, they they should be happy that they don't have the money that certain people have. They don't have the influence that certain people have, because when we were young, I believe, at least I'm gonna speak for myself, but it's easy to just look at all the celebrities and people on TV and everything, and just like envy them in a way of like, oh my goodness, I bet their lives, are I bet their lives are just amazing. And oh my God, they have all of this and all of that. And you basically, really look at the material and whatever you see. But these are little clips. And what we were able to see this year, right? The behind the scenes of so many things, those parties and everything. and the beautiful couples that are actually in a very abusive relationship. It's this, all of that. It really is showing you that everything that glitters is not gold. That you have to be very careful of what you see, because if you see it, and that's the thing that motivate you, that's the thing that is motivating you, and you have no idea what comes with it, you have no idea what's really happening behind closed doors, when you're gonna come, before those opportunities, when you're gonna be able to have what you want, sometimes it might be wrapped, beautifully, but what you gonna get inside the package is gonna blow your mind. You're gonna be startled, right? And so that's why you have to be careful, and that's why greed is so dangerous, because you will lose yourself, right? You will lose yourself. You have to be rooted in faith. You have to be rooted in something that is greater than you, for you to stay humble, for you to not to not deroute, like literally, because obviously it's easier said than done when you're on your couch, right? When right now I'm speaking, and it's like easier said than done to say all of that, but when you're in front of an opportunity of a lifetime, you waited, you worked your butt off, okay, for something for so long. That's your dream job. That's your dream career. Whatever it is. And that at that moment, you understand that you are going to do something. You're going to need to do something that is going against your values and morals. That's why we go back to, are you going to keep them? Are they strong enough to make you stay firm on what you believe in? Are you going to be able to stay upright, right? Or are you going to fold? And it's not even to judge people, because most of the people have never been in this situation. Most of the people have never been confronted, you know, to their dream, their passion, what they've dreamed about for years, since they were little kids or anything. It's in front of you. It's so close. It's like inches away. And and people are asking you, just do this, just do that, and it's gonna be yours, right? You're gonna be tempted. Are you gonna pass the test? Are you going to fold? Are you going to go against what you believe in, just to get what you think you want? That's a real thing. That's a real question to ask. I don't know. That's very deep, because something that you cherish, you love it so much, right? And that's not just like a little opportunity. Oh, you're gonna do this, and it's gonna be, oh, you're gonna have like that little thing. No, if you're presented, right? Because we're going obviously with the example of like greater scale. So you receive opportunities that are gonna be able to literally be life changing, right? Life changing opportunities. How are you gonna react? How are you gonna react? Right? Because that's the thing. A lot of people are think are thinking in some ways that they're like holier than now, because they're like, I could never do this. Oh my goodness. They were so perverted. Oh, how can you do this? Oh, people are evil. All people are monsters. And in a way, obviously, I understand why people are saying that, because those are evil acts. It is what it is, right? But some people think that it could never, but like it could never be them. But what I understood is that it can be you. What I understood is that it can be you. Because a lot of people are not doing certain things literally just because of lack of resources. Okay? Translation, you're doing that, or at least you're not doing that because you're broke, babes. Okay? You're not more moral, okay? You don't have more values than the next person. You don't have more moral than the next person. You're just broke. You're just broke, okay? And you better thank God that you better thank God that your lack of money is preventing you from being a horrible person and just doing horrible acts. But like a lot of people, if you actually listen to what they say, you know, regarding any topic associated with money and fame and wealth, you'll clearly understand that, they'll probably be even worse than those people if they had the money, if they had the influence, if they were in their position, right? So you have to be like slow to judge, slow, and you should definitely not condemn because it could be you, babes. It could be you, even though you say, nah, it can never be me, but babes, life will humble you. Okay, life will humble you. Sometimes you're like, that could never be me. And okay, couple months later, couple years later, you're in the same situation, babes. You never know. Money, like we said previously, money is a master. Like, what is a master? A master has authority, over its slave, over the person that they control. It has authority, so it really shows the power of money is not a joke. It's not a joke. You can say you're the most humble person right, in the entire world, and you will never do this, and you have values and you have morals. Okay, wait until million of dollars or whatever currency of euros and things like that come into your bank account, or opportunities of a lifetime come knocking at your door. You will see. Are you gonna stay? Are you gonna stay with them values? Are they gonna be able to stand? Are they gonna shiver? Like, what's up? You have to be real. You have to be real. And that's why I'm saying I'm very open. I'm like, obviously by the grace of God, I would want to stay and remain someone, very humble and not embody, like we said, not embody this love of money. I don't want to be that person, you know? But that's why you have to check your heart. That's why it's actually an active thing. You can't just say, especially in a current situation that you're in, just say, "Oh, I could never do this." "Oh, I'm not going to be that person," just because you're there right now. You know? All of that, it's hypothetical. You're not living that for real. So you could never really know until that's the time for you to experience that yourself. So that's why obviously we are making observation, we are making an observation, like observations actually, um into like what we see and the behaviors, right, that transpired. But we have to be actively aware that, right, obviously, like, I could never do this. And hey, everybody is different. Everybody is different. Everybody has their own, you know has their own thing that they're dealing with. And unfortunately, It can it can it can grow certain things. It can just put things that were, hidden, things that were just like in you, rooted. It can basically grow. But how can you hide a tree? You can hide a seed. It's easy to hide a seed. It's easy to hide a seed. It's easy because you don't see it. It has to grow little by little until it becomes a tree. And I believe that's what happened to those people. Little seed here and there of greed. Oh, I can do this, I can do that. And you don't really you don't really think about it. It comes. But with time, it's complicated because you didn't do anything to go against it, right? You didn't do anything to go against it. You didn't do anything for it to stop, right? The boundaries were not set. And so now you're in prison. Now you're in prison because you molested that person, you did that, you know what I'm saying? You sexually assaulted the next person because you manipulated, because you intimidated the next person. It's just it's crazy. It really is. But it makes me think about the fact that it's like two point of views, right? It's two point of views. It's like the dominance and the dominated. It's there's a survival instinct and there's a predator instinct. And it depends on which one you operate in. Um, but I've seen a lot of things recently, the recent years, recent months, whatever, and it's very interesting, like to say the least. Very interesting how like our society has changed in a way, but because it's nothing new, like greed is not something, it's nothing new, right? But the fact that is in a way promoted, right, bothers me a little bit. It's promoted a little too much to my liking. You see so many people acting a fool, literally, on the internet, social media, and everything, just to get some buzz, just to get some clout, just to get some engagement. And that's what we're saying. The love of money is the root of evil because you're really losing your soul, right? That's what it say. For what good is it for someone to gain the world yet forfeit their soul? Like people are ready to do everything, and the saddest part about it is that a lot of people are not even necessarily looking for wealth, because like yeah, ultimately people want money, right, in some capacity, but sometimes like you actually realize that they just want fame. They're not even looking for real money. Like I could understand if you're like, oh no, I want my money. I'm about my money ons. But no, you're really like you just want followers on Instagram. You're just looking for likes and followers. You're looking for views. And it's just like, okay. Cuz obviously it's normal for someone that is looking forward, to building a brand, a company, whatever, a store, just like anything. If you have an actual like plan, an actual project, and something that you want to build, like obviously you're gonna look for people like that can support you, that can sow into whatever you're doing. But if you're just a regular person and the only thing you want is followers and views, like it becomes a little bit weird, right? especially it's not automatically linked to any type of financial increase. Let's be honest. So that's why it's like, okay, you want, like, you're really greedy for fame, but you're still probably gonna be broke. You see that it just doesn't even make sense. But I saw a lot of people. I saw the Island Boys. I don't know if y'all know the Island Boys. It's like two white twins from, I think, from Florida. They were rappers or whatever. They probably, I personally, I only know one song, and I was like the Island Boys or something like that. First of all, babes, I'm not about to sing that song right now, but it was, yeah, it was like a little thing. It wasn't not, I mean, it was alright, but it was not that great. You know, a little thing, like you vibe to it, and then 2 months later, you're not gonna listen to it, right? So that was kind of like that, and they were pretty silent. And then one day I was scrolling on Twitter, because I'm gonna call it Twitter, babes. But I was scrolling on Twitter and I saw them. Like, that was just so weird. Basically, apparently now, well, at least not necessarily that's what they do right now, but I guess they did it at least for a certain amount of time. They were doing some incestuous content for money. I was disgusted. I'm not gonna lie. I was disgusted because incest is something, it's something real. Like, that's not a funny topic. There's nothing funny about it. There's nothing, and for you to put that on display, to put that, before everybody as something that's supposed to arouse anybody. And it's like what am that's a parenthesis, but like porn has really fried people brains. Like, let's be honest, it really has fried people brains because people are ready to do everything and anything, especially um like sexually, like content wise, right? And it's like, babes, we should not know what you're doing in your bedroom. That's not our business at all. But I was so shocked because I was like, are y'all really doing that for money? Like, are we, is that really the level we are in? You know what I'm saying? Is that really the state of the humanity right now? What is happening? Are we really doing that for money? Like, you love money that much, or you're in lack of money that much? That's what I'm saying. Cause I'm sorry, people will say, "Oh no, the lack of money will make you do things." It's like, yeah, the lack of money will make you do things, but like incestuous content, bro. Like, we need to be for real. We need to be serious, and we cannot be, dishonest. We cannot be dishonest. Like, and that's why I'm saying, like, what are your values and what are your morals? Because, baby, there's people who will lose everything, but they stand, let me tell you, they stand on their values and morals. They stand on it. And I'm talking about, like, things that are, at least by most of the earth, consider, good. They will stand on that and they will not budge. Even, obviously, if their life can be, difficult, but they will stay on it. And that's why integrity is so important. And that's in those type, and that's when your integrity is actually tested. Are you gonna stay upright when you have money? Are you gonna stay upright when you're broke? What are you gonna do? What are the choices you're gonna make? Because it's easier to say, oh, I'm good. When you're good, when you're actually good, it's easier to say that you're never gonna do anything. But when you don't have a lot, it's another story. But I believe that a lot of people that didn't have a lot and now were able to get some kind of fame, money, whatever, and then lost it, you see a lot of them do not want to go, back to a regular life, right? And instead of, obviously, it's easier said than done, but instead of enjoying the fact that they were able to just enjoy that, most of the people are not going to be able to touch, you know, that much money in their lives, and everything. So if you were maybe blessed in some capacity to touch a lot of money or whatever, and to be in a certain position, you should be glad that you at least experience it. Obviously, it's normal. You don't want to go back to to where you came from. But like, are you for real? Like, are you really gonna do things like that, that perverted, just to get money, just to be able to say, oh no, I don't want to go back to that lifestyle, or I have to sustain the lifestyle that I've attained. It's like, now, babes, this is still the love of money. This is still the love of money, and we're going back. It controls you so much that you're ready to do any kind of thing. Like, what the heck? For that? Nah. And we see a lot of people, for example, on TikTok, YouTube, using their kids for views, literally, using their kids for content, like solely, and mistreating them in the process. Like, this is ridiculous. So many people are just ready to grab money, by any means necessary. We also have people that are just ready to, like I said, fame, like clout, ready to have their 15 minutes of fame so bad that they're ready to do literally anything for it. Baddies, the TV show Baddies. I'm not watching that, but can you imagine, like, grown folks, grown women that are literally going on TV, auditioning, and the audition is literally fighting. Like, that's what it is. They audition and they basically fight. The girl is looking at her like, okay, well, fight the other girl and you're gonna get your ticket. Like, are we okay? Like, what type of degenerate behavior is that? Like, what the heck? This is crazy. And unfortunately, a lot of women are going. They're like, baby, them audition be packed. Do you hear me? Them the long lanes. This is crazy, man. Like, people are in line, he's waiting to fight to get maybe a ticket to go where, to do what. Like, baddies are literally, even if you're in a show, you're gonna fight. You're gonna fight the next girl because you have to. You have to. There's always problems. It's just, and it's like, what is it? How is it even appealing to y'all? How is it even? And that's the problem. We're so focused on getting the bag, you know, and we developed this mentality that it's cute for a little song, but when it becomes an actual mentality that people are really, they're really partaking in that. They really go by it. That's really how they move. That's an issue for society. Like, literally. Like, for the city girls, they were saying, "Get your hair, bread, and leave." So it can be catchy and all of that, but you can see, especially on social media, you can see, obviously not everybody, thank God, but it became an actual, like, mentality that unfortunately, a lot of young women, like, adopted. And so you see a lot of them are like, oh my God, you cannot do anything for me. You don't have money. You don't have this. You don't have that. And just everything became transactional, just because everybody is focused on the love of money. Everybody is literally is embodying this love of money thing. Everybody. Like, money is their master and they don't even know it. They don't even get it. But that's really what it is. And so That's how deep it is. That's how deep. And so that's why you have to be, we have to be very careful. And that's why I repeat again, you have to watch yourself. Watch yourself, watch your step, because this is real. Don't think that you're too good, you know what I'm saying, too good to fall into the trap. Because you don't have to be a sexual deviant. You don't have to abuse people left and right to 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 fall into the, into the category. It's much deeper. It's rooted in so many things, and it affects so many things. Literally, what we see on media, the things that are promoted, is just a lot. Because Baddies, like I said, Baddies is on the network called Zeus Network. And apparently, I actually made my research, and Zeus Network used to be a network that was supposed to promote like Christian content. Like, can you imagine like the shift in identity and in branding? That's crazy. So it was apparently in 2019, it was supposed to be a network with like TV, different types of Christian like content, whatever program. But unfortunately, it didn't really work that well, and so they just stopped and shifted. But can you imagine shifted from some kind of Christian content, whatever, to Baddies, Jocelyn Cabaret, and everything? All these people are just out here fighting. Like what's happening? We're losing the plot, babes. We're losing the plot. And it's just everything, man. Diddy, Young Miami, like all the other stuff, all the pimping, all the sugar daddy thing, and everything that is just promoted is rooted in that. It's really rooted in the love of money. Let me get my little quick two, you know what I'm saying? My little quick thing, get my money like that. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna give. It's just, and everything goes into that, falls into that. And you see the younger generation is doing plenty of things, and they think that it's cool. They think that's cute, but it really isn't, babes. Like, you think, oh, if a man cannot do this, baby, that's prostitution. Okay, like let's not lose the plot here. But that's why we have to be careful. And that's why I wanted to talk about it, because greed is something so serious, and that's why you have to be careful. Do not let money become your god. Do not let yourself be controlled, like literally, by money. Obviously, we need money. Money is not a bad thing. We need money to survive. We need money to live, to enjoy. But do not let it control you, right? I think that's the whole message of this episode. Do not let money control you, because it's gonna eat you up, baby. It's gonna eat you up. It's gonna eat you up. You are not, unfortunately, you're not gonna be able to win, right? You're not gonna be able to win, right? But you can. There's an escape. So I say it again. We need boundaries, and we need to be rooted in faith. We need to be rooted in something that is bigger than ourselves, to not let it, you know, crush us, literally. So I hope it helped you. I hope you were able to think, cuz I did. Okay, I did a lot of thinking preparing the episode and just thinking about all of this, because babes, we saw it. Okay, greed will lead you to your demise. That it's pride comes before a fall. Okay, all of that is it's a big old thing that is leading you down. Okay, it can never help you. Like, you really can't. So I hope that we're able to reflect on that, and okay, do not let the money on control you. Period. But God bless you, and see you on the next episode. Bye.